Hello, welcome to the Sound of the Signs. My name is Seidel Schultz. I'm a sound astrologer and here to really help you hear and understand the zodiac signs so that you can hear and understand yourself, so that you can express yourself with more clarity and more power. Okay, so let's talk about Sagittarius. Sagittarius is, there's a couple of things that I've really been thinking about Sagittarius that I want to point out. And the first is this. It has kind of been portrayed as this bouncy energy. And I just want to say it's actually not. When it's in the light, like in the shadow, do you like this? This is really nice. In the shadow, Sagittarius is bouncy, but in the light, like the light side of the sign, Sagittarius is very grounded. It is the earth signs, like this is what I say. It's the earth signs of the fire signs. It is the most grounded of all the fire signs. Now, the one of my very favorite things about Sagittarius is this the arrow. So that is the sign or the symbol for Sagittarius is the arrow. And this is the thing about Sagittarius that I love the most. It really has this like head heart alignment. So when I very first started listening to the sound of Sagittarius, it is this like complete alignment between the head and the heart. And that is why Sagittarius is so lucky. So where you have Sagittarius in your chart is where it is the most important for you, or where you have the easiest time, I'm going to say it like this, where you have the easiest time having that head-heart alignment, where you could just kind of like switch into it and then it becomes really powerful, or it is really powerful because you have that head heart alignment and things just kind of flow. It feels kind of lucky. It kind of has this luck energy to it, even though it's not lucky. It just is you being true to yourself. So that's why I want to take a look at the sound of Sagittarius in each one of the houses so that you can understand what it's like. Now, the thing that I keep hearing in my head is Sagittarius is the professor, right? Sagittarius is the world traveler. It's like teaching and learning, like that's one of the things that Sagittarius governs. So it is a very logical sign. But it also has the power of the heart behind it. So I've shared this before in other videos that I've done, but I feel it like just compelled and like it's really important to also to share it here. The electromagnetic waves of the heart have 50 times the amplitude and 1,000 times the strength as the electromagnetic waves of the mind. So that means like sending like our thoughts, sending our thoughts out and sending our feelings out, right? So our feelings, and I talk about this a little bit more in detail in my How to Manifest video, which I'll link that below, because that goes like right along with Sagittarius. So our heart has 50 times the amplitude and 1,000 times the strength. That means amplitude is like how high and strength is how long, right? So this would be like how fast we can run and how long we can keep up that distance. So the heart can go 50 times faster and maintain that higher speed 1,000 times longer than the mind can. So really when we're like planting our desires or when we are wanting to utilize the most powerful thing is actually not in our mind, it's in our heart. Now, the fantastic thing about our mind is that it can keep us on track for where we're going. And this is why Sagittarius is so lucky, because the head and the heart are working together. That is when you manifest the fastest. Okay, manifesting the fastest happens when your head and your heart are in alignment, because now you've got the power right? You've got 50 times the power and 1,000 times the staying capacity, and you have the mental focus to get you there. That is when you're going to achieve your goals. So what I want you to do, I want you to take out your natal chart, and I want you to look at where Sagittarius cusps, like what house Sagittarius cusps in your natal chart, because this is going to show you where that Sagittarius energy is rooted. Okay. And where it's rooted is where you're going to have the easiest time combining that head heart energy, that alignment, right, to create the greatest impact in your life, to manifest and to have that like lucky energy. That's where you're going to see it the most effectively in your life. Okay. I'm going to pull up a chart and we'll take a look at it together and walk through the signs or the houses. We're going to walk through the houses. Okay, so here it is. So we're just going to pretend like this is Sagittarius all the way around, or I'm actually going to look at a second chart. So if you're interested, this is my Secret Sisters email list. These are the charts that I always pull from. If you're interested in that, email me and I'll drop that link below and I will add you to that list. And this is like listening to their chart specifically. Okay. So Sagittarius in the first house. Sagittarius in the first house. The first house is body and character. So one of the things that I love about Sagittarius rising, I've got a good friend and she's a Sagittarius rising and it's so fantastic. So when she travels, anytime she travels and this, right, she's a Sagittarius rising. So this is not in the ninth house, but this is in the first house. When she travels, things come into her existence in the traveling that support her. Like she's just really lucky in travel. And it really isn't, it sounds ninth housey, but I'm going to say this is like first house, right? Because it's there to support her body. These experiences are there to support her body. So for those that have Sagittarius rising, your manifesting capabilities and abilities and gifts really come in helping you manifest for your body. They help you manifest for the physical existence. Like that's what I'm really hearing for this first house energy, which is so fantastic. So, and anything that can help you and will help you develop your character, like things that you're desiring to understand yourself, like that feels very much first house to me as well. Okay. Second house. OMG. Love the second house. So the second house is worth and value and money. So worth, value, and money. I like to say this. We will know when we're living by our worth and our value, when we're honoring our worth and our value, when with how we interact with money. Okay. So if I'm respecting my worth and my value, I will respect my money. If I am, and it can go both ways. Like if I start ordering my money and creating order around my money, then it will help me also then respect and honor my value, right? A lot of times, we have a hard time staying in this order with our money if we aren't valuing our value or valuing our worth, or we're not connected to it. So we're like trying to force it to happen. So I'm saying like start here and really with your value and your worth and honor that. And then bring in this piece of the money so that you can then support them. Then they support together. So Sagittarius. So we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it money wise. But I also want to talk about it worth wise really quickly. So money wise, it's like, I decide I want something. And again, it's this head heart alignment. So if it's out and like your head is wanting something different than your heart is wanting, then it's not going to work. But again, it's easiest for this Sagittarius energy for those that have it cusping the second house. And by cusp, I mean starting. So we can see here, these dotted lines go to, I'm going to take off, I'm going to take this off just so we can see it a little bit more clearly. Do that. Okay. So here, so you see these dotted lines. So this cusping Virgo right here, Sagittarius is cusping the fourth house. So it's beginning, right? So when you have this beginning in the first house, this rooted, like rooting of that frequency in that house. So when you have this rooted, this is where it's easier then to connect to that energy. It's easier for you to get into this head-heart alignment. Now, I also know somebody who has their second house is cusped by Sagittarius. And literally they can be like, I want this thing, and then money comes flooding to them. Like when they really want it. And there's not an exertion of effort put on them to make that money. It just like circumstances come into play and they are able to receive that money because they become aligned with their value. And the thing that I'm hearing like the most clearly, especially for this second house, cusped by Sagittarius, is this. Like when they're like, this is the thing that I really want. Then what happens is they're saying, I honor me. And I honor my value, and I'm not about to go out and, how to say this in a way that doesn't, like, I don't want to use the word that's coming to my mind. It's the only word that's coming to my mind. Like, I don't want to whore myself out. Right? And so Sagittarius in that second house is just going to say, I'm honoring my value. And because I honor my value and I want this thing that will also honor my value and honor my worth, then it creates this alignment in the head, right? I will not accept in the head. I won't accept doing work for something that is beneath me, or working harder than I need to work to get what I want to get done, right? And so then they are really able to move into the space where it creates this flow of abundance. Now this is like, wow, that sounds like, wouldn't it be so fantastic to have Sagittarius in the second house? I do these videos and I'm like, oh, I just want this sign cusping all of my houses. Like it sounds so fantastic. So Sagittarius in the third house. Let's talk about it when it comes to communication and communicating with other people. One of the things that I really love about the frequency of Sagittarius and communicating with Sagittarius, and I'm going to use like the sound of the moon, right? Like our authentic sound as an example here. When you are communicating and it's in alignment with you, like your heart and your mind are in alignment, then it becomes undeniable to the person that you're talking to. They can't deny what you're saying. And it like speaks sense to their hearts. Okay, so this is a really powerful communicator. Again, it's that arrow, and it's the arrow from their head, from your head. If you're like your third house is cussing Sagittarius, it's an arrow from your head to their heart, and it kind of like goes up like this and then out and down. Does that make sense? Like it starts in your heart and that creating this alignment with your mind, and then you speak it, and it makes sense to other people. So it creates this almost, well, what I'm hearing is that it creates this magical communication connection. Now, the most important thing with this in the third house is that you are honoring you and you are honoring the other person, right? So we're not talking about using any kind of like just any words, like saying whatever you want, because it is a fire sign. And so out of alignment, it can be a little harsh. It can be a little hot. It can be a little, like ow, ow, ow. Like it can be like that. In the light, when there's this head heart alignment, it's like I know what to say, I know how to say it, and I'm going to say it in a way that's undeniable. Doesn't it sound like fantastic communication? Okay, fourth house. So this is Sagittarius, and we have an example here. Sagittarius in the fourth house. So the fourth house is the house of the home. And we're talking like, like how things how you experience your home environment and how other people are going to experience your home environment and how you experience things out in the world when you feel at home with yourself. Okay, so I'm saying like when you feel at home with yourself out in public, right? So if we can take that place of at home and bring it out into public, then you'll experience that like luck and that manifesting out in public. But it's because you're zoning in on who you are and feeling comfortable and at home with yourself. So for those of you that have Sagittarius in the fourth house, I'm going to recommend that you start by experimenting with things in your home. That way you can really develop and cultivate that, I want to say like custom or that feeling, that frequency. You're creating that frequency at home so that when you leave home, then you can take that with you. So fourth house at home would be like how you're interacting with the people at home, how you're interacting with your home, like decorating, cleaning, how you're interacting with your family members. Again, it's connecting first to the heart so that it can fuel the mind and then go out. So that's like the biggest key we have for Sagittarius. Okay, now we have here the creation. So we're talking about the fifth house, which is the house of creation and creating things. Super important for you to take a step back, like just to take a little step back and be like, okay, what is it that my heart desires to create? And then you let your head fuel that, right? And fuel that energy towards the like the spark of the mental direction that you need to take. Okay, so I'm talking about like, oh gosh, I can see it. It's just putting it into words. So say you're wanting to sculpt something, right? And you've got this clay and you're like, I just want to sculpt something. Like you've decided in your heart that this is what you want to do. You want to sculpt. And so you sit down and that's when you've connected among all these other things that you could be creating. You're like, my heart just wants to sculpt something. And then you sit down, and as you sit down to begin, that it sparks your mind, and then your mind knows exactly what to do and how to approach that creation, right? So it's not necessarily, you don't have to have it figured out. Like your mind will figure it out, just like your heart powers the actions, right? Like even in our body, our mind sends out the signal for our body to do something. Our heart gives our body, pumps the blood and the power to our body to be able to manage that. Right. So that's where it is. And it doesn't have to be creation. I just want to point out really quickly, it doesn't have to be creation in like the traditional sense in art or music or even food. It could be like creating things for your business. It could be creating fun experiences for your family. It could be creating a clean home. Like it really could be any of these things. Okay, sixth house. Sixth house is the daily activity, your daily action steps. So this really looks like, and I I have to go get my daughter from school. So I've got like 7 minutes. So I'm gonna like try to be quick here, wrap up each of these houses quickly in the next 7 minutes. Okay, so the sixth house really is this daily action step. Now, the sixth house is actually where my Sagittarius is. If I am trying to approach my day with my head, it all goes awry, like out the window. If instead I write down my actions, like the things that I want to get done, and then I ask, what do I want to do next? And I do that, then I get all of those things done so fast. So I actually had this experience yesterday, and I did this. I followed this because I had not been following it all day. So I didn't follow it until 8 o'clock. And I wrote down all of these things. I think it was like 6. I wrote down all of these things that I wanted to get done. Maybe it was 5 o'clock. Anyway, it doesn't matter. All these things that I really wanted to get done. There were 8. And then I just started doing them, and I started doing them according to my desire. And I got all of them done before 9 o'clock, which is incredible. Like 8 things, that's a lot. And some of them were not small tasks. Like some of them were time consuming. And so this is a great example of Sagittarius in the 6th house, like really following your heart and then letting your mind spark the action steps, right? Okay, in the 7th house Sagittarius, this is our intimate relationship and our intimate relationship with ourself and our intimate relationship with other people. So like our friendships and our significant others. And what I'm really hearing here with the 7th house is this ability to really create this spark and this deep connection with yourself and with other people. So if you have Sagittarius in the 7th house and you're not necessarily feeling this, I want you to take a minute to really connect with yourself. So the ability that you have to connect with other people is only at the level of the ability that you have to also connect with yourself. And so step back and like take a look at the relationship that you have with yourself, the intimate relationship that you have with yourself, and start asking yourself questions like, how do I feel about myself? What do I love about myself? What it is that I desire to experience with myself? And oh my gosh, that's just like so beautiful. And what is it that you desire to experience in your intimate relationships, right? So we're setting the foundation of our desires. And that is so beautiful. So what do I desire to experience with myself? Now, if we take a look at here, Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is cusping both the 8th house here and the 9th house. So we're going to talk about this. The 8th house is transformation. It's how we experience transformation and how we can make transformation the most powerful in our life. And for those that have Sagittarius cusping the 8th house, this is again connecting to our desires, connecting to what it is that we are wanting to experience. So if I'm not experiencing it now and I'm choosing something that I want to experience, it is going to create a transformation. So that's where we ask ourselves, what is it that I want to create? So if your Sagittarius is cusping the 8th house and you're feeling stuck, then you can say, what is it that I want to experience? And how can I get it? And then it will just start coming. Sagittarius in the 9th house, this is the house of learning. This is the house of education. It's the house of travel. It's the house of religion, right? So again, that head-heart alignment of like, what is it that I really want to learn about? What is it? And even like Sagittarius, fantastic teacher, but like big concepts, like deep concepts. And so also honoring who you're teaching in this space, right? These people that are willing to take that deep dive with you. And I know Sagittarius isn't like, I don't know that it's known specifically as like this deep energy, but I would say that it is, especially as being known as the professor, right? So it's this deep energy. So really connecting to your desires of what it is that you desire to learn, what it is that you desire to teach. Now, Sagittarius in the 10th house, this is freaking fantastic, and I love it so much. Sagittarius in the 10th house, I'm just like, hold just a moment. I'm just listening to it. Oh, I just like the thing that I feel. Oh gosh, just the thing that I'm feeling right now is I like step into the Sagittarius energy and I'm like, okay, I've just got a couple minutes left before I get to my daughter, but I have to leave to get my daughter from school. But the thing is, like, real life, this is real life, people. The thing is like, that's what's so beautiful about the Sagittarius energy is that it is a reminder that in the light, it is actually a little slower, right? It's not that ping-pongy energy. It's not necessarily slow because it is a fire energy. It is a movement energy, but it's that grounded energy. So make sure if Sagittarius is in your 10th house that you're really aligned with what it is that you want to do. So if you're like have a job, you want to get a new job, instead of laying out all the tasks that you want to do, you're laying out the experiences that you want to have. Like, how do I want to experience my business? How do I want to experience my job? And then as you do that, you're getting grounded in what you want. And then it creates a trajectory for your mind to get what you want. And then you will. Okay, Sagittarius in the 11th house, in the house of groups and groups of people and like this zoomed out view of our world, our hopes and our dreams. And I'm saying, oh my gosh, how incredibly beautiful to have Sagittarius in the 11th house, because it's saying like what I hear it saying is we can get there. We can get to like, I'm just seeing like outer space. We can get to this outer space place and really pull that in to us because Sagittarius is also so magnetic. Again, it's like that shooting the arrow back, and then it's almost like, especially for the 11th house, it's like pulling it back in up for all of the houses. Like I can even see it in the 2nd house, the 1st house, the 5th house, the 6th house, it like at the 3rd and the 4th, like all these houses, and it's just pulling that energy back to us after we shoot the arrow out to it. So if you have Sagittarius in the 11th house, check in. What are you desiring? If you're not getting it, look at your desires. Are you thinking what you want, or are you feeling what you want? And then Sagittarius in the 12th house. Now, this is really beautiful, and I've been thinking about this for the last several days, and just thinking, oh, the 12th house to me, I'll start by saying this. The 12th house to me is this house of our personal relationship with our higher power, whether that's the universe to you, whether that's source or God, whatever that is. This is our personal relationship with the higher power. Now, when we do that thing that's cusping that, it will help us deepen our relationship with our higher power. It will also increase our capacity to experience that energy in the rest of our life. So much more than it doing it in any other. Okay, so like I'm just going to say this really quick. When we master that energy of where it's cusp, then we can utilize it in other areas of our life. And so that is the case. It is powerful nowhere else than it is in the 12th house. So that energy that is cusping your 12th house, when you learn to really harness that and connect to your higher power through that energy, you will get that back tenfold for the rest of your life. So, example, my Gemini is cusping my 12th house. So when I communicate with my higher power, then I receive greater ability to communicate in other areas of my life. So for Sagittarius, when you like really dig deep and discover how you want to experience this relationship with your divine source, with your God, it will then color your entire experience, and you will be able to draw in that which you want in all other areas of your life. Okay. That was fast and also so fun. And I feel great. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed hearing your specific Sagittarius in your house. If you have, please like and subscribe for more videos, and we'll see you next time. Bye.